Okay, so reading is awesome. It's super cool, and it makes you super smart. And if you read enough, you'll learn that you shouldn't say super more than once in a sentence. Clearly, I am not reading enough. That's partially because books are really expensive. Hardcovers are typically $15 to $20, and even paperbacks are still about $10. I bought $100 worth of books at Leviosa, and I didn't really want to, but I met a lot of wonderful people, wonderful authors at the convention, and I really wanted them to know that I supported their books. I'm lucky that I had read a lot of their books already, so I didn't need to buy their entire backlist to show them that. And I still couldn't afford to get a copy of everyone's book, but I'm really glad for the ones that I was able to get. I made a budget, I saved up, and I stuck to it, and that's the only reason I was able to get so many books. Because I am like super poor, like scary poor. This camera is probably the nicest thing I have ever owned. So I tend to be really conservative about spending money on anything. And as a book lover, that can really be frustrating. Normally, I typically buy ebooks because they're cheaper and I can read them on my phone or walking down the street or in class or pretty much anywhere where it's not typically safe to read. I could have had my author friends sign my phone or my Kindle, but I felt that might have gotten a little crowded. I mentioned in the diversity panel a little bit of my money struggles, but especially right now, I can't really afford to spend too much on books. But I love to read, and I know that there are a lot of other people without a lot of cash who also love to read. So I thought today we would talk about great ways to find books if you're poor, or even if you're just broke, because you bought too many books. Go to the library. Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. Libraries are great, guys, and authors get paid when you check out their books. I love the library because they have such a wide selection, and even if they don't have the book you want, they can borrow it from another library or order it in. It's a poor reader's dream, pretty much. You'd be amazed at what your library offers. They offer audiobooks, they offer software, they offer free classes, and they even offer ebooks too. So if you can't even afford to drive to your local library, just getting a card gives you access to a lot of resources that you can use at home. My second tip would be to really consider ebooks. They're usually at least $5 cheaper than a hardback, and they go on sale really often. I follow only authors on Twitter, so I see a lot of sale notifications, because one thing writers love to do is support other writers. And another thing writers love to do is get you to buy their book. So when a book is on sale, and when their book is on sale, they want you to know. Following other authors is a great way to find out that a book has gone down from $10 to $2 or even $1. And sometimes books even go on sale like for free, which isn't even on sale anymore. It's just a giveaway, and they want you to read their book. Go get it, go get it, go get it. But only get a free book if the author is advertising it. I don't condone piracy. Trust me, I know it's really tempting, but authors put a lot of hard work into their books, and they're not the only ones. It takes a lot of people to get a book from a Word document to your hands. It takes a ton of people, agents, editors, designers, publishers, marketers, even reviewers. There's so many subsets of jobs that bring a book to you. And it's really important to put your money where your mouth is if you want more good books. Because if an author can't afford to write, they can't bring you any more books. The best way I found out to save money for books when I was really little was to ask my mother or my neighbors if I could do chores or mow the lawn or something to earn money for books. Here's a sneaky little tip. If you're young, sometimes just telling adults why you want the money will help you. My mother and my neighbors were much more likely to have me help them with whatever I was offering to do, even if I wasn't the best person for the job, when they knew that any money they'd give me would go towards a book, something that would better my education. Adults really love helping kids learn. It makes them feel better about themselves, and as an adult, anything that makes you feel better about yourself is pretty much your prime goal, because there are lots of things that bring you down once you're a grown-up. Now that I am an adult, I have a budget set aside for books. I try to read as much as I can through the library, but if I need a book for a longer period or I want it in my permanent collection, then I use money that I've set aside to get that book. I don't have a regular source of income. I have financial aid, but I don't go out to eat, and I only go to the movies like 2 or 3 times a year, and that's honestly pushing it. I've gone years without going to the movies because books are my priority. Books and Netflix are pretty much my only expense. I make those a priority and sacrifice elsewhere. I still don't always have enough money to get all the books I'd like, but I also tend to start to feel too guilty about spending money on myself when I spend too much, so I'm not really bothered. Now here's a tip that doesn't cost any money and is very exciting. Giveaways. When I was a teenager, I was a giveaway queen. I entered contests all the time and I won lots of books, including the first novel of a writer who is now my favorite author. Goodreads has lots of book giveaways, but their algorithm is slightly skewed so that if you review a lot, you're much more likely to win than somebody who just signed up or doesn't review that often. And that makes sense for a review site, but if you can't afford to read a lot of books and populate your Goodreads field, that sort of leads you out of the loop, doesn't it? So here's how I did it when I was younger. I followed lots of writers. Nowadays, sharing something socially counts as an entry for a giveaway. So if you follow enough people who talk about books, sometimes not even authors, sometimes just reviewers and stuff, you'll find a lot of giveaway posts. You're going to have to enter a lot to win just a few, but there are a lot out there, and you're going to find lots of really cool authors that you might not have known about if you hadn't been searching for giveaways. Another way to find giveaways is through an author's newsletter. Newsletters are really important in speaking directly to readers, so authors will try to make their newsletters a very valuable resource. I subscribe to several different newsletters. Some give away things 2 or 3 times a year, but other ones have a giveaway every single month. And that's not the only thing that newsletters are good for. They also have news on book releases, which you're obviously interested in if you like this author, and they have tips on writing and stories about their personal life. It's really fun. My favorite newsletters are from Susan Dennard, Alexandra Bracken, Beth Revis, and Erin Bowman. I will link them in the description below so that you can sign up. And a final tip, a tried and true one, is to ask your friends what they're reading, what they're really into. If they really love a book, they'll probably loan it to you because they trust you, and you can do the same for them. And then you have somebody to talk to about books too, so it's a win-win scenario. What are your best tips on finding books when you're on a limited budget? Let me know in the comments because I'm sure these aren't the only tips out there. And I'll see you guys really soon.